Hey, we are back.
Mom,
The Adventures of
gonna
Chatter the Red
go,
Squirrel.
yeah.
She's fine. We are on chapter... wow, are we really that far? Chapter 14. So it continues. Chatter decides to live. All right.
Mom, I can hold your phone.
It's fine. Thank you.
Mom, this
I'll
is
take it
like
then.
a double of the gardener on my hill.
Yes, it would look adorable in your head. All right.
Mom, I want you to.
You can do that when I'm done. It won't take very long to read. Just set it aside. All right. How about you let Winry play with it? Actually, I'm reading, and then you can take it back. That might keep her happy. At first, Chatter decided that he would rather die than live in a prison, no matter how nice that prison might be.
What did he want? What did he want the matter?
He thought he wanted to die at first. It was a very foolish thing to do, but he made up his mind that he just wouldn't eat. He wouldn't touch the nice yellow corn Farmer Brown had put in his prison for him. He would starve himself to death. Yes, sir, he would starve himself to death. So when he found that there was no way to get out of his prison, he curled up in the little hollow stump in his prison, where no one could see him, and made up his mind that he would stay there until he died. Life wasn't worth living.
Why would he stay there until he died?
He's being silly.
Silly?
Yeah.
I don't know what is being silly.
Yeah, I don't know.
After you're done with that, can you please put this on after when
Yes,
you're
I
done?
can put it in your ear. Life wasn't worth living if he had to spend all the rest of his days in prison. He wouldn't even make himself comfortable. There was a little heap of nice shavings and bits of rags for him to make a nice comfortable bed of, but he didn't touch them. No, sir, he just tried to make himself miserable. Not once that long day did he poke so much as the tip of his nose out of his little round doorway. Ever so many times Farmer Brown's boy came to see him, and whistled and called softly to him, but Chatter didn't make a sound. At last night
Shadow
came,
didn't make a sound.
because he was sulking. At last night came,
Because he didn't want to be scared.
because he didn't want to be in the prison. At last night came, and the woodshed where his prison was grew darker and darker and very still. Now it was about this time that Chatter's stomach began to make itself felt. Chatter tried not to notice it, but his stomach would be noticed, and Chatter couldn't help.
There's a bell there. There's a thing there. Stop! Oh, never mind.
Chatter couldn't help himself. His stomach was empty, and he kept telling him so. I'm going to starve to death, said Chatter to himself.
That's
Guys,
cute.
quieter. Over and over. I'm empty, and there's plenty of food to fill me up. If you will only stop being silly, whispered his stomach. The more Chatter tried not to think of how good something to eat would taste, the more he did think of it.
Stop! Keep that
Hey,
in
hey, Edward, you do one side, and then Gwen can do the other.
there. I'm trying to make this sound, and she's taking it
Winnie.
apart.
How about you cooperate with him? Let her finish up what she's doing, Edward, and then you can get that in. It made him restless and uneasy. He twisted and squirmed and turned. At last he decided that he would have one more look to see if he could find some ways to get out of his prison. He poked his head out of the little round doorway. All was still and dark. He listened, but not a sound could be heard. Then he softly crept out and hurriedly examined all...
Mommy, go.
Oops, I
Go
lost my place.
on yourself. Mom,
I got one on Henry.
Aw. He listened, but not a sound could he hear. Then he softly crept out and hurriedly examined all the inside of his prison once more. It was as if of no use. There wasn't a single place where he could use his sharp teeth. There's that little pile of corn waiting for me, whispered his stomach. I'll never touch it, said Chatter fiercely. Just then he hit something with his foot, and it rolled. He picked it up and then put it back down. It was a nut, a plump hickory nut. 2 or 3 times he picked it up and put it down, and each time it was harder than before to put it down. I'd like to taste one more nut before I starve to death, muttered Chatter. And almost without knowing it, he began to gnaw the hard shell. Then the nut was finished. He found another, and then that was gone, still another. Then he just had to taste a grain of corn. The first thing Chatter knew, the nuts and the corn were all gone, and his stomach was full. Somehow he felt ever so much better. You
but
didn't
I'm
feel
not
like
done
starving
yet,
to
so
death
don't
now.
go right there and put
I
that
believe
on.
I'll wait a good bit and see what happens, he said to himself. And while I'm waiting, I may as well be comfortable. With that, he began to carry the shavings and rags into the hollow stump and soon had as comfortable a bed as ever he had slept on. Chatter had decided to live. Okay, that was chapter 14 of The Adventures of Chatter the Red Squirrel by Thornton W. Burks, and we will hopefully read tomorrow at breakfast.
Whenever do you want to
Can you
sing
say goodbye,
here?
Edward?
Goodbye.
No,
You say goodbye, Gwynnie? Gwynnie, say goodbye.
no thanks.
Say goodbye.
Bye.